What's up, guys? This is Astranox. Developers notes for the 28th of October. I've lost some sleep over these developers notes because I've seen them yesterday before I had some plans and I went to sleep and I woke up in the middle of the night and I just couldn't sleep because she's going to be really crazy, this Bloodblade Karin. BBK is, yeah, she's going to be nuts. I'll tell you guys why. Some of you guys might not know how her mechanics actually work, but what they're doing to her, I mean, power creep, OP hero, definitely going to be built different ways. There's definitely multiple builds for this hero, and she's going to be very devastating. Now, the other heroes, of course, I'm going to be talking about them. And we got some cool heroes here that definitely needed a buff. So Meteor Carrick, real nice. Edda, she needed some buffs as well. Eufine, yeah, she needs some buff. But let's talk about it real quick here. Meteor Carrick, his buffs are actually quite good. Edda, surprisingly good. Eufine, not so much. It's underwhelming. BBK, completely crazy. Zealot Carmen Rose, PvE hero, yeah, she's getting some buffs. It's okay, right? Two artifacts here, Black Hand of the Goddess is, of course, better. The scaling down is not as fast and it doesn't go as low as it went before. You know, the drop of the crit damage. Shepherd of Chaos, some defense on that, nothing crazy. So really, like, where is Sez? Where is Judge Kise, guys? Like, there's some other heroes that definitely need a buff. Where are those heroes? Of course, complain about these balance adjustment coming in too slow, and it's understandable. I mean, there's just 5 heroes here, but BBK is definitely the main hero on this here. Like this is crazy what she's getting actually. Like the possibilities are wow. Okay, Meteor Carrick, skill 1 combat units increase up to 15% for himself when he attacks. That's a skill 1 counter set on him would be really good. He pushes combat units of the ally with the highest CR as well, so that's the way it was before. Now, the skill 2 dispels all buff from the target. Really good because you can remove the buffs and then apply attack break on the hero as well as landing debuffs, using some of your other heroes. So that's definitely good. And then the damage is increased on S2 and the barrier strength was increased. We don't know how much. So good because his sustain from the barrier was really crappy before. So very welcome change right there. The skill number 3, you got increased combat units for Meteor Carrick, really nice, 50%, so he's going to be able to cycle faster into that skill 2 or skill 1. When this skill is available at the start of the turn, decrease debuff duration of the caster by 1 turn. So basically, if you don't have this hero built with super high effect resistance, or you are unlucky and some debuffs land on him, let's say Resurrected Provoke, right? Really terrible if that lands on Meteor Carrick, because his role is to actually use it as 3 to actually remove all debuff from your team and apply immunity. If he can't do that, that's really, really bad. So if you can decrease a debuff duration by 1 turn off of him, that means you don't need to actually build him with that much effect resistance because of that. And like I said, if you're unlucky because they have way more effectiveness than effect resistance that you have on your hero, then yeah, that's definitely going to be coming in handy. So good buffs on this hero, definitely going to be showcasing these heroes when after the buff, right? I have these heroes at plus 15 skill up, so expect that. Edda with the skill number 1, defense break instead of unhealable. Very, very good. Defense break is such a powerful debuff. Unhealable is, not that good, not that useful. So the skill number 2, cold snap. This thing actually dispels 2 buffs from the target. Perfect, because 1 buff is underwhelming, but 2 buffs now, this is what this is becoming way better because, of course, barrier protecting immunity set, stuff like that, right? Now, decreasing combat units by random amount between 15 and 40%. This used to be 5 to 20%, and when you land a critical hit, it's actually 10% more. So 15 to 30% before, now it's 15 to 40%. Between these, CR pushback, really good control, right, from this hero. And the Soulborn grants an extra turn. Now, this is where it gets real crazy because she's a mage, she can wear Tagil's Ancient Book, so you can pull off S2 into the S3. So that means you're taking 2 buffs off. That means immunity is gone, hopefully. 15% innate resist, always a problem. But then you are pushing back their combat units. Nice form of control there. You're getting skill nullifier on herself, and you're getting an extra turn following up into the skill number 3, which actually deals damage, of course, to all enemies, and then 85% chance to stun for 1 turn. Stun is so strong, they're losing their whole turn. They have to build another 100% combat units to go again. And then you got a combat units push for the whole team, actually herself as well. 20%, very powerful. Now, that's the tricky thing right here. When an ally uses a non-attack skill and the skill is available, so she didn't get her turn yet, right? Increase combativeness of the caster by 20%. So that means if you're using a hero like Ran that just got released, which is really OP, he uses the S2 to buff himself and put immunity on the whole team. That's a non-attack skill. That means Edda can follow up because of the 20% combativeness increase, and then she can push the rest of the CR of the rest of the team and herself by 20%, so she can act as a combativeness booster that doesn't actually need to use a non-attack skill. So you can even use Edda versus a team that uses a Politis to get, well, not 20%, but 10% combativeness increase. So that's really good. There's going to be a lot of different ways that you can go about it, but the fact that she gets an extra turn after using skill to remove 2 buffs, you can set up the CR pushback and then you get the stun against the enemy. So you can buy up to like 2 turns against the enemy. Very, very powerful. The downside is, of course, that she's ice, strong versus fire, of course, but if you're running a combo like Rand plus Edda, it's going to be double ice, which is not so good. So you probably want to pick her near the end. But definitely like these changes. Can't wait to showcase this hero. Eufine, underwhelming. Dragon Charge, increased combativeness of the caster by 2 turns. This is what, 50% combat. Increased effectiveness of the caster for 2 turns. Effectiveness buff is 50% combativeness. Effectiveness increase. 50% effectiveness increase from this buff, which is good, yes, because she does have some debuffs. Defense break on skill 1. She got silence on S2. So it's definitely useful, right? The -1 turn cooldown means she's going to be able to cycle this thing faster, which is good. And then the Soul Burn grants an extra turn, but also extend the duration of the effectiveness buff. So that means she doesn't lose, 1 turn on that buff, which is good, right? And then, well, actually, Dragon Charge Awakened. There it is here. So what's the change? It's the same, isn't it? Right, the buff, and then you get +1 turn of the buff duration and get an extra turn. And yeah, okay, cool. Okay, well, yeah, it's the same. Not some big change right there, but faster cycling on that Dragon Charge is it's pretty strong. Like, that thing just deals so much damage, right? Removes all buffs and then stun for 1 turn. Great, and 50% more damage when the target is buff. So you're able to one-shot a lot of ice heroes, especially with this hero. But yeah, I mean, anyone that is not fire that has a buff will take a ton of damage unless they cannot be one-shot, like a Tempest Siren or Chaos Inquisitor. So Bloodblade Karin, finally we're here. Skill number 1. Before you get 50% combativeness when the enemy is defeated. So this is like a Penelope skill number 1, right? Penelope is 75%, combativeness. So that's the thing right here. That's something that's pretty cool right here. The skill 1 is not that big of a deal, right? But the fact that she's getting 15% combativeness when she uses a skill 1, that means herself on a counter set is going to be good because she's going to be able to cycle faster, right? And then the additional 35% combativeness means, it's going to be like a 50% combativeness like before when you down someone, but she's going to be able to cycle faster every time she uses skill 1, so that's good. Now, the big thing here is that when I saw that, I couldn't believe it. This hero, at the start of the turn, start of the battle, she's getting immortality for 1 turn. Immortality means her health cannot drop below 1. So the lower her health, the more damage she's dealing. The more attack she has, the more defense she has, and the more speed she has. Actually, when she has 1 health, she has like 99% more attack, 99% more defense, 99% more speed. Do you understand how powerful that is? That is basically doubling her damage. And then she is cycling like crazy. And then she has the combativeness push on skill number 1. So that is insane because there's the combo of Amelicatis putting immortality on her, which is, a meme. But now that she gets immortality at the start of the battle, yes, it's not as powerful as a Chiron passive S2, not as powerful as a Briar Wishisaria S2, but this thing actually is still very strong because the enemy has to worry about taking that immortality off of her. Now, imagine if she's on Moonlight Dreamblade and she has evasion. That means, what if it triggers, she evades the attack? The enemy misses and they cannot remove that immortality anymore, right? So that's really cool right there. So if you have her built on counter set with immunity. Now, that's a very powerful combination. You build her on a degen build, so she has like 15,000 health, decent amount of defense, as much offensive power as possible after that. But she has that immortality that the enemy needs to worry about. If they are softening her up, she can't drop if she still has immortality, dealing a ton more damage because she's scaling, 1% attack, defense, and speed per 1% health that she loses. So it is completely crazy how powerful this hero is with that immortality buff. Part of her kit, you don't even need to worry about bringing someone else to give that to her. So yeah, something that the enemy will always have to keep in the back of their mind. Man, I gotta worry about this immortality. Now the skill number 3, big thing here. Like she attacks all, right? Sacrifice 20% of her maximum health, increases attack of the caster for 2 turns. After she deals damage, she gets attack buff. So that means like you don't even need Moonlight Dreamblade on her, but she's gonna have attack buff to use skill number 1, right? And then you get an extra turn when you down someone, which is how it's been before, but you have now attack buff, right? And then the skill cannot trigger a counter attack. This right there, the skill cannot trigger a counter attack, is such a powerful mechanic in the game. Very rare, not a lot of heroes have this. But now we're getting a 4-star that's been in the game, like old school OG hero with all this stuff in her kit. So the immortality was already really powerful. Now you add the fact that she gets a tag buff after dealing damage with the skill 3 to, clean up with the skill 1, which heals for a crap ton, right? You guys don't know how much it heals, the skill number 1. It is ridiculous. It's like 60% of the damage she deals. So imagine if she has 50% more attack because of the attack buff, right? So this hero can be built like counter immunity with, like I said, like a degen build, 15,000 health, like nice amount of defense. And you build more defense, she gets more defense, the lower her health as well. And then you have like Moonlight Dreamblade on her. That's a build right there. But then you can use her for, cleaving. You can be using her for anti-cleave because she has immortality part of her kit at the start of the battle. So that's really dangerous because now players, like bruiser players, are going to build this hero like a bruiser, right? Like degen build, and they're going to mess you up on Moonlight Dreamblade. If you want big damage, you build this hero on rage with whatever 2-piece set you want, and then you put Eliha's knife on her. I've tested that before. You can go check out her damage in my showcase videos. Crazy damage. You can pair her with any debuffer in the game, and she's going to activate the rage, and you soften up the targets. Eliha's knife is going to penetrate 20% of the target's defense. Crazy potential. This is so powerful. Now you can even have her like on a counter set with a penetration set. So when she uses skill 1, more damage, more health recovery. So there's definitely going to be many builds for Bloodblade Karin. You can have her on a speed build, but to be honest, like if you slow her down and you can keep that immortality on her, that's where things get real crazy. And then she doesn't even trigger counter attack, so you can keep her in play. I mean, I will showcase her for sure, like multiple times, and you guys will see how powerful she will become. I don't think like a lot of you guys probably don't understand how powerful Bloodblade Karin will be after these changes because it's crazy. Like there's going to be like bruiser players that are going to pick her. Like when you see bruiser players, you're trying to cleave or something. Let's say they're picking Arbiter Vildred versus you because he's such an annoying hero. Like on a degen build, on counter, Moonlight Dreamblade, counter, and Alexa's Basket, something like that. He's so annoying, right? But Bloodblade Karin is another hero that they're gonna be able to put into their kit. And if you have a Shimaja staff, she's gonna be healing even more with her skill number 1. So annoying to deal with this hero if she's built that way. But then you can also build her with super high offense, rage set, immunity, rage crit. You can have her rage penetration. You can have her on speed crit, something like that, right? There's definitely going to be multiple ways you can build her super slow. The thing is, guys, cleave hasn't really been dead. Speed cleave has been dead, right? But turn 2 cleave, it's always been kind of like strong because you can build bruiser heroes that attack everyone, like Fire Charlotte, Landy, Seaside Bellona. Like they can cleave. They're just slow. They don't have speed. They're built like super slow. Most of them like maybe lifesteal set, maybe counter set, stuff like that. They attack everyone. That's cleaving, right? It's just like a slow cleave, a turn 2 cleave. They're just way tankier and you can't drop them and it's time for them to go. They go back to back and they just start to destroy your whole team. Yeah, Bloodblade Karin can be used in a team like that. Zealot, Carmen Rose, I mean, a bunch of stuff is getting changed. I'm not going to go over all this stuff, but runes here and there getting changed. So she's going to be better, right? I don't know by how much, but she's a PvE hero. I tried her in PvP, but she's a meme, guys. Like, let's be serious. Her base stats for survivability are not good, but it's good that she's getting some buffs so she can see more play in various content in PvE. Golem, not a good place to farm, but maybe you want to bring her in some like Earth Expedition. Maybe you want to bring her in Labyrinth, Raid. Hall of Trials, you know, stuff like that, right? Automaton Tower. So artifact Black Hand of the Goddess, right? The effect will decrease slower, right? 1.2% instead of 2.4%, and then it will drop to 18%. You know, crit chance and crit damage if you have it at plus 30, so fully limit broken, which not a lot of players have. So yeah, they're just doing that to all sorts of 5-star artifacts that are underpowered, and that Shepherd of Chaos, of course, getting 10% defense increase. Now, Bloodblade Karin, I definitely see some power creep, guys. It's pretty insane how like some heroes are just not usable, and then they come in and they introduce some major power creep, new heroes, or they bring balance adjustment to heroes that might not have needed like, you know, an update or like an increase of power. Bloodblade Karin, you know, she was already like really strong, right? Yeah, she could have needed a buff. Now, like, this is insane what she's getting. You know, I'm not sad about it because I'll put her to good use. I'll try her with like a speed cleave. I'll try her in a turn 2 cleave, a slow cleave, put her on a degen build, you know, counter, moonlight, all sorts of stuff. Like, there's so many possibilities. I'll try her on Wind Rider. That seems like so crazy, but that's more like a win more condition. Like, you're winning already if you defeated someone, but getting the Wind Rider up to 60% more attack that stacks with attack buff, you're just going to destroy the targets with the skill number 1. It's going to be ridiculous. And then she's sort of like a Penelope with the skill number 1, because when she defeats a target, you get 50% combativeness increase. And then if you have an artifact like, what is the name again? The Ranger artifact that gives you like almost 15% combativeness, she's going to be able to, you know, get like some like what 65% combativeness, 65% combativeness. So if you have her paired with like Cerise, calling her into dual attack, potentially landing debuffs if she's on a rage set or something like that, she's dealing so much more damage, right? uh Softening up the enemy with that Cerise, right? So the Elia's knife is activated. There's so many different possibilities. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, she's basically going to be able to go often with that skill 1. And if, let's say, her health is dropped, she has more speed, more attack, more defense. So yeah, she's going to get way more turns than the enemy if there's constant pressure against her. But if they cannot take her down in one shot, and assuming your damage is higher, right, and you get a frenzy in World Arena that's boosting her damage as well, like, she can be healed back to full when she has like 10,000 health. So even if she has 15,000 health, she can heal herself so much and she can stay in play. And if she's on like Moonlight Dreamblade, those evasions, the self attack buff, right, when she doesn't have it from the skill number 3, so powerful. Imagine she triggers counter attack, she's able to cut because the 15% CR push on skill 1 cannot go down, you know, until she goes, because she has immortality. The enemy needs to worry about removing that immortality if they want to take her down. So that's something they have to worry about. Like, when the enemy has to like worry about just that one thing in the hero's kit, but then there's so many other things they have to worry about. The big damage that she's gonna bring. It's like, oh man, I need to worry about the immortality, and then, oh man, she could be on Moonlight Dreamblade. So you evade your, you know, you miss your attack. You can't take it off of her, or 15% innate resist kicks in. Oh man, she could be on counter set. Counter set, she counters, kill 1 heals her backup. Oh, she's on Moonlight Dreamblade. She triggered it. Not only he missed his attack, you now have attack buff, and then you can soulburn her skill 3, deals crazy damage, right? And then it doesn't trigger counter attacks. And then if she downs someone, you get an extra turn and you start using S1. If you down someone, you're getting 50% combativeness, or you're getting more from Sash Itain, the Ranger artifact, you know, like almost 65% combativeness. Her health is low, she has more speed, more attack, more defense. Like, I think you guys start to understand what I mean by like how crazy it is with all these things. So yeah, power creep definitely going to be OP. Reason why I lost some sleep thinking about the possibilities. Definitely a lot of builds. She's going to be very fun. Multiple players are going to be using her, even if they are playing with a different play style. It doesn't have to be like a speed cleave, could be a turn 2 cleave, could be a bruiser, degen build. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Let us know what you guys think about all that in the comment section. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all you do. Peace out for now.